Hi, my name is Nick, and I'm so excited to welcome you to my five-step Dream Life Strategy Masterclass. It is my simple five-step method to access and unlock your dream life, whatever that means to you. And I can't wait to share that with you. So let's jump straight in. Here we go. So start again. My five-step dream life strategy. So five simple steps to unlock your dream life, whatever that means to you. So this is for you if you're working flat out in your business and you know you're amazing at what you do, you get great results, your clients love you, but you feel like you're chasing your tail every month. You lose countless hours to stress and to worry. You know you're bringing in money, but when it comes to the end of the month, you just aren't taking it home. You know what your goal is, but you have no idea how to get there, and you're starting to question everything. Is this really for you? Should you even be working for yourself? Do you really deserve your goals? And maybe that's why you can't get there. That just breaks my heart because you absolutely do. And let me show you how. But first, let me introduce myself. So, hi, my name is Nick. So, I'm a former accountant. I spent 12 years in finance, basically known as a profit strategist. So, I would go into big businesses and help them find ways to make money. But it was just soul destroying, if I'm honest. I was not a good employee. I didn't like engaging with the politics. You sold this, climb the corporate ladder, and it's great, but I have three young kids, I have a husband, I have friends, and I had no life. I was miserable. I didn't like my boss. I was traveling all over the country. It didn't add to my life, it took away from it. So I knew I had to make a really drastic change. And I had this epiphany one day and I was like, wait a minute, I spent the last 12 years making money for all these businesses, and I mean big money for all these businesses. I can do this for myself and I can make it work for me. So I did. I handed in my notice, I retrained, and I launched a skin clinic. And I now have the absolute pleasure of spreading confidence in women. And I also have my own time and financial freedom, which is just incredible. And I've never looked back. And it's this foundation I thank massively for making the strategy to take my clinic from 0 to 5K months in 3 months. I designed a 15K Black Friday plus Black Friday sale on my own. I have got over £4,000 a month now on repeat with my signature memberships that I offer. And I did all these three things because it was normal for me. Like the systems, the doing it, the ideas, the implementing, all of that was just normal. It's normal. It was normal to have these roadmaps and to have recurring revenue and all these sorts of things. And it was the more that I started to network that I realized just how much I took that for granted. And there's such a power in having that knowledge. And it's such a shame that these courses that we go on to learn all these things don't teach you these things. So, well, I will. I will. So, step one in accessing your CEO mindset. I want you, and this might sound a bit airy-fairy or a bit woo-woo, but I want you to meet you. Not the you that's sitting here right now, but the you that's living the life you're dreaming of. I want you to really get to know her. So, what does her morning look like? Where does she wake up? What is she wearing? Who is she with? Um, what does she look like? Is she well groomed? Do you have long hair? Is it dark? Is it blonde? What sort of clothes do you wear? And does she have a tan because she's been on holiday recently? Most importantly, how does she feel? Is she confident? Is she happy? Is she organized? Does she have clear boundaries? Does she live a life of abundance or of scarcity? And that is a really big question that I want you to think about. Does she live in fear of losing and in fear of competition and in fear of other people? Or is she so comfortable and so confident that she just lives in abundance and knows that she can get anything that she wants? Now, I need you to step into her. So get to know her habits and make them your habits. So, for example, if you had a moment of self-doubt right now, think about your future self. Would she be doubting this same thing in this moment, or would she be really confident in her decisions and just keep moving forward? Because just think, to get to that life that she's living, she must have had to get comfortable and confident and have gone through trials and tribulations to be really sure in herself. So, would she be worrying about what you're worrying about? Or would she action and move forward? Would your future self be worrying about a cancellation or be grateful for the white space and work on her business or even go and book in an hour's Pilates class because she needs some time to herself? Mindset is everything. I genuinely believe you can collapse time. And I know this sounds silly, but just bear with me. If you carry on doing what you're doing now, it might take you 10 years to get to her. If you really get to know her and you start building her habits in now, you start making decisions like she would make decisions, you start being confident in the way she's confident, you start organizing and respecting your time in the way that she would, you will become her sooner because you're doing those things now. So it won't take you 10 years, it might take you 3. It is so powerful. One of the big things I hear all the time surround money mindset, and it's not surprising. It was only in the 70s that we were even allowed to have bank accounts, never mind mortgages. Like, as women, we have decades of being predisposed to having a negative or anxiety linked relationship with money. You might have heard things like money doesn't grow on trees, or oh, you can have that, but don't tell your dad, or just little things like that. And you might even like now, if you are seen driving a really nice car, the assumption is it's your dad's or your husband's, that they've either bought it or given it to you. It's yours. It's never that you've worked hard for it. The assumption is that the man's bought it for you. And we're in 2025. We're in 2025 now. Now is not the time for that attitude. But where does this come from? So, like we've just discussed, it's society, it's family, it might even be your experiences. So for me, for example, my mum and dad were divorced when we were young. My dad had loads of money. My mum did not. She walked away with nothing, and we would go between these two houses of my dad having all this stuff and my mum really not. So we were stuck between two. And it was an interesting relationship with money, having those two different people. So my experiences of money are seeing my mum lose everything because she trusted a man. So, so you can see examples within yourself and your own story that you might be able to pinpoint back to why you have a relationship with money that you do. And that is so important because once you understand that and where it's come from, you can be like, yeah, well, I'll put these things in place, or that's not me, or you can learn from that. And the best way to learn is by evidence. So, for example, I'll give you a few examples. When in your head, if you ever hear your niggly little voice in the back of your mind saying, you could never earn that much, well, yes, you can because money flows to me. You know it flows to you because look at all the bookings you've had already. Like, look at how your business has gone. You absolutely can earn that much because you are earning now. If you increase your prices, no one will book. Actually, you deserve to charge what you're worth. Like, and your dream clients will come to you because every other client has come to you. So why would your dream clients not? You deserve to charge what you're worth, and you are worth a lot. There are so many other therapists in my area that are so much better than me. But the truth is that you're uniquely amazing, you're well educated, you give your clients amazing results. Therapists who you think are ahead of you are actually just proof of the possible, they're not competition. And if you need more proof on that, go back through your client results, like scroll back through your phone, look at your text messages, and read what your clients say about you. Look at the transformations you've given them, look at what they say, like that is your proof. And then the other girls, like they're proof that you can do it too. No one will pay that much for a treatment in my area. Actually, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Your area is abundant with dream clients who appreciate your worth. And I promise you that is true. It's all about the reframe. And no, I'm not pretending like you say this thing to yourself once and it'll magically go away. Money mindset is something that is, it's like a muscle. You've got to keep flexing it. You've got to do the reps. And like I say, evidence is the best way you can overcome this. Every time you hear that negative little voice in your head, like just blank it out with the evidence. I can't do that. Well, I look what I've already done. Oh, I'm worried about this. Look at all the brave things you've done, that you started this business for yourself. That is brave. You've retrained in some cases. That is brave. You're putting yourself out there. That is brave. You are taking someone's skin in your hands. That is brave. You see, it just all flows. It's just doing the reps. Step two, menu mastery. So we have our mindset, we're working on that because we know it's not an overnight thing, we're working on that. The next thing we need to look at is our menu and what we offer. Our treatment menu needs to set your soul on fire. It needs to be filled with treatments that you can't help but sell. You know how amazing they are and the results that they give, and you genuinely enjoy doing them. If you don't enjoy a treatment, and you know if you don't enjoy a treatment because you're like, you see it in the diary and you just roll your eyes or you sigh or you feel a certain way towards it, and you just won't sell it because you don't want to. So I want you to have a little think about your treatment menu as it stands now. What has earned its place there and what needs to go? Or is there anything that you actually would really like to be on there that just isn't right now? Whether that's something you can do with what you've already got or something that you might like to add in. Or even you could pivot it on its head entirely and offer a time-based option that might be more suitable for your business. If you want to go fully bespoke, there are multiple different options, but just have a little think. But the key thing to all this when it comes to your menu is that confused customers do not buy. If you put a treatment menu together of 20 or 30 different things, it's just way too much. You want it to keep it clear and concise. And remember, you can sell anything behind the scenes, but forward facing, keep it really, really simple and focus on the results. The next step, so we are working on our mindset. We know what we want to offer. And now we need to work out our costs and get some clarity behind that. And I know this is quite scary. So let me walk you through. So for example, the way I work in clinic is everyone that's new that comes to me has a first facial. So you might price that at £97, for example. So I need to work out then, of this £97 I'm charging, how much am I going to take home in my back pocket? So how much does it cost me to do it, and how much am I going to take home after all is said and done? So let's break it down. So the first thing you're going to have a look at is the product cost. So you're going to have a look at, you might be able to get it from your supplier, depending on who that is, or you can generally figure it out yourself. But it's the cost per use of each product you use in the treatment. So for example, you might have a cleanser and you might know that you get 40 uses out of that cleanser. So it would be the cost, including VAT, of that cleanser, the cost including VAT of that product divided by those 40 uses, and that will give you your cost for that cleanser. And you just need to work through each step of that treatment. So work through that flow. So I do the cleanse with this, and then I might do a double cleanse with this, and then I might do and just work through each step and the price attached to each element within that facial. Yeah. Next is any disposables, any like one-use items that again you would have within that. So it might be something like a headband, needles, syringes, cotton pads, spatulas, like that sort of thing. And in the same way, you might get 20 in a pack, you might get 100 in a pack. Pack a cost over how many are in there is the cost per one unit, and then multiply that up by how many. So you might use 3 spatulas, or you might use 20 cotton pads, for example. Just make sure you're accounting for all those types of things. And that's where we get our first step. So we have the revenue, so how much we are charging the client. We're then taking away the cost of the products that we are using in that treatment and any disposable items that we are using in that treatment. And that gives us something called gross profit. So this is the first steps. At this point, we have ignored where we're sat. So we've ignored the cost of being sat in that room. This is just anything directly attributed to that treatment. It gives us this gross profit. So for in this example, it's £91.63, which sounds fantastic. But like I say, we haven't considered a lot of big costs yet. So let's work those out. So the next stage is our overheads. So this is everything else that you need to open the doors to your clinic. So for example, your rent, your rates, your utilities, insurance, subscriptions, any training that you've done in that 12 months or that you plan to do in the next 12 months, your anything and everything that allows you to be sat in that room. Then I want you to have a look and have a little think about how many available hours you have in that clinic. So you know now what your overheads are. We've got quite a clear idea. We've got them all. We've worked them all out. We know how much our overheads are. We need to get that hourly cost. So to find out your annual clinic hours, you need to think about in your week, like the week that you have, how many hours are you in clinic? So I might work 5 hours a day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I might work 15 hours a week, for example. So I do 15, and I might have 2 weeks off a year, for example. So I do the 3 hours a week times by 50, because you've got 52 weeks in a year, take away the two that I'm on holiday. So there's 3 hours a week times 50 weeks that would give me my annual hours. And then you take your annual cost of all your rent, rates, utilities, insurance, all those sorts of things, and divide it by the annuals. It has to be like for like. Annual cost divided by annual hours gives you your overhead cost per hour. And then all we need to do is say, for example, the first facial is an hour and 15 minutes. I have a 15-minute consultation and a 1 hour treatment. So I would then times that 1 hour rate by 1.25, because 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour. And that would give me my overhead cost for that treatment. Does that make sense? So work through it again. So we have our revenue that we charge our client. We're taking away our product costs. We take away our disposables to get our direct cost attributed to that treatment, which gives us our gross profit. We then take away anything else that is attached to us being able to operate in the way that we are to run that business. And we times that up by the hours that that treatment takes. So that's our overheads. And when we take that away as well, we get something called our net profit. So this is what I am putting in my pocket. This is what I'm taking home. And it needs to be at least, as a bare minimum, 30 to 40%. Because we think about what we need to do with that. So that isn't just what I'm going to take home and pay myself. This is what's going to be able to be reinvested into my business. This is what's going to be able to pay my tax bill at the end of the year. This is what's going to pay me. You still have this money that's left at the end still has jobs to do. If you haven't got at least 30 to 40% margin, how are you going to pay your tax bill? How are you going to pay yourself? How are you going to reinvest in your business? That all needs to be considered. So for me, I charge £97 and I have £77.55 left at the end of it. So that's a really healthy profit margin. So I'm really happy with that. So that is what I would advise you do. So that treatment menu that you've just created, each item on that treatment menu, you need to run this process for. And it gets really simple, and it's really good as well if you ever wanted to expand and bring on a team. By working out all the steps in that facial, it gives you a good standard operating process, so SOP, that you can then give to your new members of staff so they can follow it nice and simply. Step 4, designing your dream life. This is my favorite step. So this is where now we know the things that we're going to sell. We just need to think about where we want to take our own life. So forget your business for a second, just for a second. We want to think about what your dream life is and how we get you there. So step 1, I want you to calculate where we are now. So what's the monthly cost of your business and your personal life? So to run your business and to live your life as you are right now, how much does that cost you? Because this is your baseline. This is what we need to make to survive every month. Yeah, so it's very important that we just don't jump to where we want to be. We need to understand that we cannot drop below this threshold, and we need to understand our position now, because we are boss women, we are CEOs, we need this financial clarity and transparency. Once we know that, we can then move on to step 2, which is calculating the monthly cost of your dream life. So how much do you need to have every month to be able to live the day-to-day dream life that we pictured earlier? So it's things like, say your mortgage now, for example, is £500 a month. I want you to go on Rightmove now and have a look and find the house that you love, the house that you would move into tomorrow if someone gave you the keys. And then at the bottom, you can do a mortgage calculator, go on that and figure out what the mortgage cost would be. And that's what you enter in that against the mortgage. So you have your baseline mortgage, £500 a month, dream mortgage might be £1,500, for example, pound a month. Same with the car. Same, just work your way through. It might be the clinic, you might be renting a room now, but you want your own premises. Like whatever it is, we're going from basic to dream. And that's what we're doing. Step 3, I want you then to add on any big expenses. So we've gone for our basic life, so our base level life that we need to survive. So where we live, what we drive, that sort of thing. Now we want to add in the fun stuff. I love this part. So now I want you to think about any big things like holidays, birthdays that you want to splash out for. Any, I don't know, it might be a really nice bag that you've got your idea, like you've got your eyes set on. It might, like, whatever it is, but those ad hoc purchases that you know you would love to do. So for me, for example, it was taking all my kids to Disneyland, which I have now booked by using this method. So I want to take all my family to Disneyland. I've now booked that. And I worked out how much I would need to make per month leading up to it. Because again, if I want to take them away in February, I need the money beforehand. I can't just be like, oh, I need to make that money in Feb because it doesn't work like that. Um, so yeah, it's having an idea of what that spend is, when you want to spend it, and then you can back work over the months leading up to it to figure out then how we're going to make those extra bits so that we can make that happen for you. Step four, I'm really sorry to bring this up, but it's the reality of taking into account the VAT man, the tax man, and the really boring other things that just come as a byproduct of business. And that leads on very nicely to step five, which is now having that full number. So we know what the baseline is and what we need to survive. We also know where we want to get to, and we know what we need to pay the taxman as a byproduct of that, so we can add that in on top. So we know what our dream life is going to cost us. All we need to do is add in by month, so see where we stand. So if there is a gap, we can close it. So what I mean by that is if you are now, so how I said before, I've got that 4,000, well, it's more than that now, but the £4,000 a month of recurring revenue. I don't see that stopping if anything's going to grow. So my baseline has that £4,000 a month in. I might have regular clients outside of that that bring in £2,000 a month. So my consistent revenue right now will be £6,000 a month. I might need some, and again, we know what our profits and all that sort of thing are on there. So we know all our costs, that's all within this number as well, because we've got it in our baseline. But we also now know that I might need 10 grand a month to live this life. So I need to find an extra four. And then we need to figure out how we close that gap. Does that make sense? Fab. So step five, making it happen. So now we know the number that we need to hit. We know the gap that we've got. How do we fill it? So there's two ways of doing this. So if you are a last minute Larry, so say we want that holiday, for example, and we know we need 5 grand in that month to make. So I sit down and I'd be like, right, okay, so I need to make £5,000 that month. I know I've got my memberships, for example, they're £1,000. I know I've got my regular clients, they're 1,500. I know on average I sell about £500 of retail products a month. So I know I'll probably be bringing in around about 3 grand with no effort in that month. So I know I need to make an extra £2,000. How am I going to do that quick? So there's a few things you can have a look at. So the work we did earlier on your treatment menu, were your treatment prices correct or do they need increasing? So when I said the bare minimum of the 30 to 40%, it's shocking how many people, because I've done this myself, I've done this with quite a few clients now. It's really shocking how many either don't have a margin and it's costing themselves to run certain treatments, or their margin is so, so small. So do not be afraid of putting those prices to where they need to be. And blame me if you feel awkward about it. Say you've spoken to a business coach and you've worked out all your numbers. Unfortunately, it's not profitable to run the way you were, and I've made you change them. I'm more than happy for you to do that. Next, I want you to message all your clients that haven't been into clinic in the last 3 months and just offer them a casual message with an incentive offer. So, hey, lovely, I've just been going through my before and afters and saw this amazing one of you. Send another reason you saw it, take before and afters. Haven't realized I haven't seen you in ages. How are you? How's your skin? You by the before and after, you are reminding them where they were, what they got to, because God knows what the skin's like now, where they were, where they've got to, and you're thinking of them and how's the skin? They'll reply back to you, oh, I've been meaning to book in, or whatever it might be, been really busy, this is going on. I've actually got a slot available. I've actually got a couple of slots available this week. A few people have jigged around. If you want to pop in, I'll take £20 off because I've already had the deposits or something like that. People love stuff like that. They love just being thought of as well. It's a really good service. Then you can message all your clients who have bought retail from you in the past that is due to run out or will have run out by now, asking them if they'd like to be added on a new order for some more. You can have a little look at your treatment menu and look at your best sellers. And then, is this what you're selling right now? So what is the thing that sells the easiest? What is it that sells the most? And is that what you're selling on your socials right now? If it isn't, then it should be. This is a really big one. A new follower message. When I have told people about this, it has just taken off the bat. People are following you because they are interested in you and what you do. So interact with them. Like within that first 24 hours, you need to be sending them a message whilst they're interested. Just something like, hey, lovely, thank you so much for following. As a welcome treat, I would love to offer you like £20 off your first treatment with me. Have you got any concerns, or is there anything particular that catches your eye? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you soon, or something like that. Selling on your stories, so using polls, tap the stickers, drive engagement, and interact with everybody that taps or that responds to the poll and get them in. Engage with your community, build trust and genuine connection. This is huge. People buy from people. Like they don't want you to feel robotic. They want to feel like they know you. So build that with your community. Build that trust, let them in a little bit. And yeah, you'd be really surprised how many people really just want to know about you. And the next one, go where your dream client is and network. So does your dream client go to Pilates? Is the one near you? Go there, join, talk to people. Is your dream client at that really cool restaurant down the road? Go down there, eat something, take pictures of it, post it, tag it. And again, I put interactive things on your stories like, oh my God, just found this place. Has anyone been here? I can't believe I've not seen it before. What should I try? Or what do you rate on the menu? And put like a little question response box. Like things like that are really, really helpful. So, if you are an organized queen, so this is the thing I do in my membership all the time or in my one-to-ones. We work out the strategy for the organized queen. So, we will take your dream life figures file, which we will do together, and we will start by looking at the year overall. So, we map out a key sale period. So, the key sale periods are a summer sale, Black Friday, and you might want to run Boxing Day 24 hours, New Year's Eve 24 hours. And we build in there the target revenue for the sale. So these over the year, these are the big hitters and what we want to achieve in those periods of times. And then we'll have a look and we'll map out again the baseline that we were at in terms of we know we have this recurring revenue and this average spend, etc. So we have our big sale periods and we have our baseline. We then have a look at the dream months that require cash injections. So you might want to do potentially secret sales or bank holiday sales if they fall in line. Again, secret sales work really well and a Black Friday sale, and you don't even need to do it loud and publicized. But if you are looking for cash injections, they are really good ways of doing it. And then once we've got that in place, we can see those monthly peaks and troughs that are the gap between the dream life and our reality right now. So we need to plan to close those. So we need to break each month down by week, give it a dedicated treatment that we're going to focus on selling, and how many our target sales are. And again, we've already worked out what our profit is on each of those. So we know how many we need to sell to make that money we want to take home in our back pocket. And we can figure it out from that. So you might need to sell 10 microneedling that month, or you might need to sell 15 glass skins or whatever it might be. And then we can figure out afterwards, once we know the numbers we need to sell, we can back work and be like, right, okay, let's align with a marketing strategy on socials or on emails to then be able to do this. And then it's a daily action then to build up that base of business, all the things that we've discussed previously, and it's keeping on and keeping on and keeping on with that to make sure that that baseline creeps higher and higher and higher to reduce the need to rely on cash injections, because each month effectively is a cash injection because your baseline is so high at this point. And that is one point as well in terms of daily outreach. So how I was saying about putting interactive things on stories and polls, just reaching out to people and just engage in that conversation, whether it's new people that follow you, whether it's people that are replying to your stories, engaging on your polls, build connections with people and they will buy from you. Promise. And that is that. Sorry, it was really short and snappy. But yes, if you need more advice, I have currently got an offer on my one-to-one strategy calls. They should be 247. They are now only 97. So if you wanted a bit more of a handhold where we can work through your dream life together, we can plan out your spreadsheet, we can do all the things in a call together. I also do VIP days if you are interested in those. But yeah, if you need a little bit more help, let me know and I would love to see you soon. Good luck, and I can't wait to hear all about your dream lives.